What's going on, my PT peeps and my Game of Thrones fans? One Eyebrow back to talk about Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3, Episode 4, 5, 6, What May Happen. Obviously, spoiler warning for the entire series of Game of Thrones. If you're worried about spoilers, just stop watching, please, as I don't want to ruin anything for you. But ultimately, Episode 803, the Battle of Winterfell, went down this past Sunday. It happened, it's done, it's in the past. But what is going to be the future, the final 3 episodes? Obviously, we have a breakdown of episode 804. Well, the trailer. This Sunday is episode 804. We'll have a review, recap, discussion, all that good stuff. And it looks like Dany is going to King's Landing to take the Iron Throne. Yes, is it going to happen? But episode 803 was really good. Some people were saying it was actually dark. Well, no, too dark on their screen. Like they couldn't actually see things. And I could see what they were saying. It was a little difficult to see sometimes, but I could kind of make out what happened. The battle was pretty good. Did it live up to the hype? Some people will say no. Some people will say yes. Some people will say it exceeded expectations. But either way, it was awesome. It was exciting. It was a big moment. And it's like, now what? Because the battle came. It happened. The Night King was defeated. We'll talk about that. Don't worry about that. But ultimately, what is the future of these two? Dany versus Jon. Is Dany going to take the Iron Throne? Is Jon going to take the Iron Throne? Does Jon even care about it? Does Dany think, I'm going to stop anyone who gets in my way? Dracarys. And I have to say, it was pretty awesome. When Dany had a clear shot of the Night King, the fire came out, and the Night King's still there, looking back at Dany. Well, wouldn't his clothes melt? No. I mean, nobody wants to see that. But ultimately, the Night King came, went, and was defeated by Arya. Badass moment, but it almost feels like the end of the series should have happened with that, not the midway point. We'll have to see how it plays out. We got episode 4, 5, and 6, but the Night King seemed like the main storyline for the way they would end the series. The Night King would win at Winterfell, then the group would be forced to go to King's Landing, then another big battle at King's Landing is what I kind of thought. But that's not what happened. And they made a big thing about all the symbols and this, and you see the symbols here, and you see the tree, and you see what Bran said, and the Night King, what's going on with that, and we're still trying to find out, and then there's this symbol, and this symbolism, and what are they trying to do in the backstory? I mean, the whole entire series started with White Walkers killing wildlings and killing members of the Night's Watch. And then it's like, that's not how the show ends. It started one way, you thought it would end with that, and maybe it still will, but we saw the symbols and we were getting more information with this, and the Targaryens, and the Children of the Forest, and the Night King, and what does the Night King actually want? And then, boom. I mean, it was awesome when Arya came out of nowhere and killed him, but it's kind of like, I want to know a little more of the backstory. Some people are confused. I kind of see what they were getting with Arya fulfilling her destiny, but what's up with the symbols? Is it connection with the Targaryens? Is there some other thing we're missing? Did he actually get rid of the Night King? I would think so, right? I mean, the Night King exploded, and the White Walkers and the Whites all blew up and died. It was pretty awesome, but is that truly the ending of this guy? I hope so, but we'll have to wait and see. As for Jon, he didn't have the biggest heroic moment yet, and he definitely could. And I think it's coming, maybe in the last 2 episodes, maybe there's some big moment with the big battle at King's Landing, but what does the future hold for Jon and Dany? And I wonder what was meant by the showrunners and the writers were kind of worried about what Kit Harington thought about the finale, because it probably is connected with him. The word is that they were kind of nervous about how he would feel about it. That means that he's definitely connected with the ending of the series one way or another. We'll have to wait and see. But again, that's just a word going around. I don't know if it's true or not, but I would think he's connected with it for sure. And I have to say, Melisandre was kind of the big MVP of this. Besides Arya, of course. Without Arya, they don't defeat the Night King. But she set up big things and big moments with the fire under the Dothraki swords, the fire around the trench, talking with Arya, came back around. A lot of little moments came around with Arya, with Needle talking to Sansa, also about the eyes. Melisandre said it before, green eyes, brown eyes, blue eyes, and what do we say to the God of Death? Not today. And that was pretty awesome. But Melisandre's gone, so she can't resurrect anyone any further. So she did her job, she fulfilled her destiny, and so did Arya. But according to Arya, she's still got a couple people on her list. And I wonder if she's going to take out Cersei and the Mountain and possibly Cyril and Payne, but we're just worried about Cersei, right? She's got to do that. It's got to be that big moment. The dragons were pretty cool. I don't know what the future holds for Drogon and Rhaegal, but I believe they're both alive. We'll see them in next week's episode. But did the dragon battle live up to the hype too? I think so. I thought it was pretty cool, and they did a great job with it. What is the future for Sam? I believe he survived, as we saw him in the trailer for episode 804. But I think he goes to King's Landing and he says, "You're not the rightful heir, Jon." Well, Aegon actually is, and he could use the books that he took from the Citadel to prove it. But is Cersei going to care? I doubt it, right? What's the future hold for Sansa? She's probably going to stay at Winterfell. I don't see her leaving there at all. But what about Tyrion? He's got to follow Dany, right? He's the hand to the queen, so where she goes, he goes. But we'll see what happens with Dany, Tyrion, Jaime, Brienne, and Cersei, and Bronn, of course, too. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. Don't worry about that. But is Jaime and Tyrion going to go after Cersei? And could Jaime really kill Cersei if he had to? I don't know. I don't really think so. And is Tyrion going to be the one to take Cersei out? As for the Hound, we have to have the Hound versus the Mountain, right? I mean, we've been waiting on that for so long. We need the epic battle. Maybe they kill each other. Maybe that's how they both go out. But we'll have to see how it goes down. It needs to happen, right? I mean, it would be a major letdown if we don't get this epic battle fight scene in episode 804, 805, or 806, whatever we have left. We only got 3 episodes left, so it has to happen very, very soon, and I hope it does. As for Grey Worm, he's got to lead the Unsullied, right? Who were pretty awesome in the battle at Winterfell, that is. But Grey Worm is pretty cool. Leading the Unsullied has got to be their charge to take King's Landing. Hopefully he survives. I thought he would actually die in the battle in episode 803, but he didn't. As for Gendry, what happens with Gendry? Does he go to King's Landing? Does he stay at Winterfell and make weapons? Or does he go to King's Landing to fight the Lannisters and Cersei to avenge his father, Robert Baratheon? That would be pretty cool if you saw Gendry and Arya fighting side by side in King's Landing. But I wonder who makes it out. Arya's got to make it out. I mean, she's the MVP of this show. If she don't make it to the very end, people are going to be pissed after what happened in episode 803. As for Bran, does he have any involvement with King's Landing going forward, or was his sole purpose to defeat the Night King? I'm not sure what the Three-Eyed Raven has in store going forward, but what's Bran's purpose now? As he can foresee the future, he sees the past, the future, everything around him, but he doesn't interfere. He doesn't get involved. He stays out of the way and he lets it play out. This was an epic moment that it kind of feels like should be the end of the series. But it's not, and we still got 3 more episodes. But where do we go from here? Theon is gone. He went out like a hero, even though he was kind of charging at a group that he didn't have a chance in killing, but he tried anyway. You got to give him an A for effort, but Theon's come a long way, that's for sure. It was pretty interesting. But what happened with Yara? I know she's at the Iron Islands, but will we see her again? And what's going to happen with Euron? As for Lyanna Mormont, she was one of my new favorite characters that went out in an epic way. And it's pretty cool that the writers and the producers wanted to give her an epic death. Even though they killed off a child, basically. It's kind of crazy. But we lost these big characters, plus the Night King. And it's not that many, to be honest. I mean, we lost the Dothraki and we lost a couple, Melisandre and everything. But, you know, these are the big fighters that were on our side. Lyanna, Jorah, Beric, Ed, and Theon. It's not that many. If you think about it, we could have lost Brienne, Tormund, Grey Worm, and so many more people in this picture alone. But we didn't. Does that mean we're going to lose them in, a coming episode? We got to lose people, right? It's Game of Thrones. Too much good has happened, and it would almost be a letdown if too many people live. Game of Thrones is one of those character shows that it's like, yep, don't get attached to this character because they're probably going to be gone. But what happens with these two? There's no way Cersei lives, right? I mean, that can't happen. That would be pretty crappy if she actually survives out of all this. I mean, they defeated the Night King and the Army of the Dead. Cersei's got to go down by either Tyrion, Jaime, Bronn, Qyburn, the Mountain, Euron, somebody, right? I mean, something's got to happen. Daenerys, a dragon's got to melt her or something. She's got to blow up with wildfire or something big has to happen. And is Bronn really going to kill Tyrion and or Jaime? I don't want to see that. I doubt anybody wants to see that, right? I mean, come on. That would be pretty crappy. I hope that Bronn turns that crossbow around and takes out Cersei. And what's going to happen with the Iron Throne? And who's going to rule? Who's going to actually sit on the Iron Throne? Initially you kind of thought they might use the Iron Throne, the swords, to fight the army of the dead, but that's gone. That's not necessary now. That's not a theory that makes sense. And is Dany going to see this vision come true? Way back in season 2, I believe, Dany saw this vision of the Iron Throne, and it's like, man, could this happen? And is that ash that was coming around that looked like snow? Is that like burned up bodies from the dragon fire and whatever? I mean, the Iron Throne and King's Landing there looks pretty rough. Is that battle going to be what happens to the Iron Throne and King's Landing? I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. It's probably going to happen in episode 805 or even 806. But how does the series end? With Dany being killed by Jon, Jon being killed by Dany, and since they're Targaryens, they can't be burned. So do they have to be stabbed? Does someone get stabbed in the back? Does Daenerys turn into the Mad Queen and Jon kills her to stop her from killing everybody? I don't know, and I'm excited to find out. But as I look at this picture here from Entertainment Weekly, there's so many characters still left going into the 4th episode of the final season. There's only 6 episodes. We got 4, 5, and 6 left, and there's a lot of people still alive. I'm excited to see what happens, but who do you think makes it out of these final people here? Now what? What do you think is going to happen in the final 3 episodes? I thought the Night King would be going towards the end of the series, and killing him would be the end of the series. Well, that's gone. That happened in episode 803, which is crazy to think that that's not the final resolution of the story and how the story will end. It has to be with Jon, Dany, the Iron Throne, the Lannisters, King's Landing. Man, I can't wait to see what they do for the final episode of the series, which will happen in a couple weeks. So let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, and enjoy the final 3 episodes of Game of Thrones. Thank you for watching. See ya.